Well, that is it. After a long drive up the 4th of July road, I've now got my car set up. Everything is locked down, solar panels on. So the thing will charge while I'm gone. And we're at the 4th of July trailhead, about to head into the White Cloud Wilderness. Cecil B. Andrus-White Cloud Wilderness. I think that's what it's technically called. So this is a pretty good map of the White Clouds Wilderness and the route that I'm going to be doing, which is called, at least on all trails, it's called the White Cloud Peaks Loop, I think. But it has a pretty significant section of off-trail because you've got to get over, the main ridge line of the White Clouds to make it into a loop, right? We're trying to get over to the Boulder Chain Lakes, and then once you're there, you can loop back on Good Trail over the Castle Divide and Chamberlain Divide back to the trailhead. But to make it into a loop, you have to connect the dots here, and there's multiple routes. The route that people used to use, some people still use it, goes right here. This is called the Devil's Staircase. This is a dangerous route. They do not recommend this anymore. Some people still do it. All Trails has a route where once you're at 4th of July Lakes and you come up to this tarn, from there you go up to the summit of Patterson Peak and then down this ridge line, which is called the Knife's Edge, and it's a pretty hairy ridge line, and then get down to Four Lakes Basin. The route that I'm doing, which I think is probably the safest way to approach this, involves from 4th of July Lake, crossing over into Ants Basin and down to the Bourne Lakes. Alright, some day hikers came through, kind of startled me. So the route that I'm going to follow goes from 4th of July Lake, crosses over this pass, but rather than going to Patterson Peak and the Knife Edge, just follows this trail over into Ants Basin and the Bourne Lakes. And then from the Bourne Lakes, my understanding is it's a fairly easy climb up to this pass, and then you have a fairly steep traverse down into Four Lakes Basin. There's a snowfield up here that is corniced, and you have to kind of traverse around. So, and then from there, you descend down to Quiet Lake, you climb up to Scree and Shallow Lake, and then up to this pass, which is called Windy Devil. And from there, then you pick up trail, and it's trail the rest of the way out. But there's a pretty fair stretch of complex off-trail that we're going to be tackling kind of right on the first day of the trip. And the biggest, I think, once you're in the Four Lakes Basin, this route is pretty well established up to the Windy Devil Pass and into the Boulder Chain Lakes. It's really, the question mark is, how do you get over the divide safely and down into the Four Lakes Basin? I think I have good beta, but there's definitely some unknowns here. And so I will see how it goes. In worst case scenario, I can easily just, camp at Bourne Lakes and then hike back out, and turn it into an out and back. But I'm hopeful to be able to do the whole route because it looks really cool. And we'll see how it goes. Well, good morning. This is my campsite. Beautiful site. Beautiful lake. We had a little bit of a disaster here this morning. I sat down to have breakfast, and as I was unpacking the food bag, I had put this in the food bag overnight, and I don't think I was really paying attention last night, but when I pulled out this morning, totally empty. This is supposed to be a full bottle. This is my, this is methanol. I use this as stove fuel. I believe that this evaporated, it spilled out while I was driving, and I just didn't notice it yesterday. It was sitting up in the roof box, maybe a little inverted, and I guess it leaked out or something, but I don't have stove fuel for this trip. So that sucks. I do have, this normally travels in my cook kit, and I didn't refill it, but this is the fuel supply I use for like 2 to 3 night trips, you know, when I don't want to carry the full size thing. So this has a little bit of fuel. I can use this for at least 1 night, and if I'm conservative, maybe 2. And I think I can probably also cook the old-fashioned way over a campfire, which I've never actually done. I always use stoves, but so I was a little annoyed and briefly contemplated, okay, does that mean I need to abort the trip? But I don't think that it does. I think I can make it work without the stove fuel. Just find workarounds. The other thing is, this thing leaked last night, but thanks to having a lake right here, I was able to find where the leak is. The stick is marking it, so I'm going to tape that up this morning, and then we'll get on our way. And this morning is the tough one. From here, we're crossing over to the Bourne Lakes, and then we've got a good stretch of off trail to get up to the Boulder Chain Lakes. So it'll be a tricky day, but this day will really be the test, if this route is going to go or not, or if we'll have to turn back and just do an in and out. So we will see. So this is a little unnamed tarn on the way up over to Ants Basin. The All Trails route departs trail from here and kind of climbs up this ridge to the top of Patterson Peak. And then on the far side of Patterson Peak is Knife Edge Ridge. We are not going to be doing that. I think that looked pretty tricky. So our route continues on this way, up and over a pass and down to Ants Basin. So a little bit more up and down probably, but quite a bit safer, I think. We're here overlooking Ants Basin. Amazing view. From here you can get an idea of the route. So the Devil's Staircase is this, let's see here, this notch right here with the little pillar in the middle of it. Some insane person's idea of a route. The route from the guidebook goes over this pass here. And this I thought for a second it might have been this as a lower pass, but this just slopes up into the rock, as far as I can tell from the map. So I'm pretty sure that flat plain between the two peaks is where we're aiming. And you have to go far side of it and then come up. So that'll be the next couple hours, getting over there and getting up over that pass. And that's the kind of the crux here. I set up my planning to tackle the hardest part of the route first. So if it doesn't go, we can just back out. But we're going to tackle the crux here in a couple hours. So right here gives you a good view of the Devil's Staircase. Zoom in. So you see this little, this little crooked talus slope with the little spire at the top. That's the Devil's Staircase. Like a 45-degree slope of slidey, loose talus. It has a reputation for being quite dangerous and exposed. So I say no thank you. Where we're going is up here. I'm going to zoom back out. As I understand it, this is Bourne Lakes Pass. So we're going to traverse around, and then there's a chute that goes up to the pass in the middle of the photo. And then I understand the ascent up is pretty straightforward. It's on the other side where you have to kind of pick your line down because there's normally a snowbank with some cornices, and so you have to sort of pick your way around that. This late in the year, I don't know if the snowbank will still be there, but it was a big winter, so who knows. Well, we made it. We are halfway through the crux and crossing over, I guess this is Bourne Lakes Pass or Four Lakes Basin Pass. Whew. We still have to find the route down, and that can sometimes be a little more hairy. Just because you have to keep your balance, and you know, it's all like loose talus, but it really wasn't that bad coming up here. And it's super beautiful. You can see over here Ant Basin and far off the Sawtooth, and then this is heading into the White Clouds. Down below here is Four Lakes Basin. So we're crossing over the main divide of the range and heading into the heart of the wilderness. So good stuff, man. So this is Four Lakes Basin. I forget the name of all of them, but I think the bigger one is Emerald. And now the key question is, how the hell do we get down from here? It looks like there's a chute directly below us, but pretty steep. And maybe you can pick your way through this chute. I don't know what that looks like yet. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. Found a cairn. Really is quite a lifesaver, because I was quite uncertain what way it goes, but it looks like that really shitty chute that I saw from the top is probably the way here. So I tried to go over here, and it got really cliffy. It looked like you could get down to maybe 100 feet above the lake, but then it looked like it's just a sheer drop. So this looks like the way to go. And if necessary, we'll crab walk it. All right, we'll check in again from the bottom. Well, I made it. It was pretty hairy. I don't know. It's pretty similar to some trails I've done in the Grand Canyon. You're basically just coming down scree slope. I kind of clung to this ridge. Let's see here. Here. As far as I could, because the rock there was a little bit more stable. But then you're just kind of picking your way down. So that should be the last of the hard stuff. We're still technically off trail. We'll be off trail until we get over Windy Devil Pass. From here, my understanding is it's pretty straightforward to follow, and you can even see the trail is pretty beat in here. So the class 3 part of this is over. It was not too bad. I would do this again. you know, but it's definitely class 3. It's not super straightforward. And God knows I wouldn't want to do the trail over the Devil's Staircase or the All Trails route over Patterson Peak. So I think I'm going to head down to Quiet Lake. This is Cornice Lake right here. And from here we descend a little bit to Quiet Lake, and then we start climbing up towards Windy Devil. Yeah, there's that Devil's Staircase from the other side now. Looking at it from this side, it looks even more impossible. Whoever came up with that route is a lunatic. The way I went was longer, but super beautiful. Lots of beautiful alpine lakes. Easy to follow. So yeah, I definitely think I went the right way. And now I'm on top of the bench that the Devil's Staircase deposits you onto. So it's just a short walk from here to Windy Devil Pass, and then we should pick up Mark Trail again. All right, so that is Cardiac Peak, and these are the Boulder Chain Lakes. This lake is called Scoop Lake for obvious reasons. The one further off, that's called Hourglass Lake. It does look on the map like it's shaped like an hourglass. Can't really see it from here. This one here is called Headwall Lake, and according to the map, there's actually a lake way tucked up in there called Lonesome Lake. I don't know if we're going to make it to that one. And then to the right of Hourglass Lake is a lake called Hidden Lake, and there's another one there whose name I forgot. And this is just the upper basin. There's a whole string of lakes in the lower basin as well. Well, I don't usually make fires when I'm by myself, but I'm out of fuel, so I made a cooking fire. Seems to be working. We'll see. It's blackening up my pot anyway, so I assume that's a good sign. This is Hatchet Lake. We're now down in the lower Boulder Chain Lakes Basin. We're out of the high country where we started the day. I've been seeing a bit more sign of stock use, but it's still pretty beautiful. Hatchet Lake obviously makes me think of the book by Gary Paulson, Hatchet, about a kid who survived on a lake for half a year. This actually looks quite a bit like I pictured the lake in the book. I'm pretty sure that's the Castle Divide where we're headed. There's Castle Peak and Merriam Peak. I wish there was a good way to convey how massive this thing is. It's incredible. All right, up we go. Well, that's day 3. I'm camped here by Upper Chamberlain Lake. I hiked as far back as I could get, and now I'm going to enjoy the view and have some dinner, and then should be out of here tomorrow and done with the backpacking part of the trip. Well, we made it back to 4th of July Lake, so we have successfully closed the loop, and from here it's just a couple miles hike back to the car. But barring some serious disaster, it's another trip successfully done. So, oh man, wow. I will check in with you again once we get back to the car and have a think about what we're going to do next.